Hey, welcome back, everybody. Oh my gosh, Kaden, so much fun.
Yeah,
Today was
so
fun.
much fun. Absolutely. It's always good to sit down with coaches and players. And listen, we're jumping right into baseball season and spring sports. So for us, it's the world of sports just never stops.
I know we still got college basketball, March Madness, but for our high school coverage, we just finished up with the state tournament up in Ogden last Saturday. Here we are, a couple days later, getting you ready for baseball season. Teams start games as early as this weekend, so we're jumping right into it. Let's jump into a couple things that stood out and our preseason combined media and coaches poll.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about things that stand out to me, it's, yes, there's always good seniors that leave, and there's always underclassmen that come into it, right? There's a good amount of teams that made mention that, hey, we only have a few seniors, but it's a lot of juniors and sophomores that are leading the way. You have a few that they say, man, we've got 12 seniors that can come in and play. So I would say that it's kind of across the board. We've got talent at every level, from sometimes freshmen all the way up to seniors. So it's going to be fun.
It's cool. Snow Canyon, just their experience, their winning pedigree. Coach Seeker's been around 22 years, coaching in the region. Hurricane, I sense they were confident. Dixie, I wrote down 2 words, dog pile.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not thinking about anything but dog piling at the end.
Yeah.
And, you could kind of sense that Dixie felt like they were being overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely saying, hey, we're tired of everyone talking about, yeah, we know Crimson's good, we know Snow Canyon's good, but what about Dixie, right?
Yeah.
Like they're saying, hey, we've been right in the mix for the last few years as well. Yeah.
It's true.
And they haven't been the ones to take home the title in a bit, but they've been in the mix for sure.
And they do have some very talented players coming back. Crimson is loaded. Desert Hills, I wrote down grinders, take on their coach's persona. Jagan Levitt was a 5-tool guy. Like, he did it all. He played the game the right way, hard. So I'm really excited to see what their identity is in his first season over there for the Thunder. And I love what Coach Sane might have gave us the greatest overall preview of a team we've ever had in any sport in a Media Day history, and I've been doing this for almost 10 years.
To then follow it up when he gets the mic back in his hand and say, I forgot something.
Yeah.
That was his first
awesome.
words out of his mouth, said, I forgot something, and made mention that Pineview has 5 players going to college to play some ball. So, that was a great breakdown from him.
We learned some guys like to bowl. We learned who the jokester is on the team, who some of their players' biggest fans are. So much fun for us. We could go on and on. Let's get to the preseason media and coaches poll. Tell us how the voting played out.
Yeah, so let's start off with how the teams are ranked for the preseason poll. So 7 teams. The number 1 spot goes to Crimson Cliffs Mustangs, which, as the reigning champs, they did have some guys leave. I didn't know if they would make this number 1 spot or not in the preseason poll, but they did. And I think that's going off of partial pedigree and what the system has, and, of course, some of these underclassmen that are coming up, like a Dougie Smith, for example, who's been phenomenal for this team.
Oh, he pitched a gem.
He did.
Against Desert Hills early in that state tournament at Brucehurst Field. I thought that set the tone for the rest of the week, and obviously they ended up getting it done head-to-head over Snow Canyon. And so, yeah, not surprised that Crimson, they got 4 move-ins, Coach Abbott told us about, that's just going to add depth to that lineup.
Yeah,
so not a shocker.
Deep roster for sure. Snow Canyon comes in number 2. And again, you're looking at the top 2 teams that were in the state championship last year. Snow Canyon with a deep lineup, according to Coach Seekers. They are going to be deep in just about every position. So that'll be interesting. Desert Hills Thunder come in at number 3. And again, brand new coach, new system. We'll see how they do.
Which is a little crazy because in the regular season, Dixie and Desert Hills were co-region champs. But this poll putting more emphasis on how you did at state last year coming into this year than the region schedule.
A little bit, yeah. Dixie does come in 4th. So, you're looking at these top teams and top schools are definitely historically have been for the last few years some of these top programs. But I will say I do think there's going to be some parity. But let's continue down the list and see how everyone else played out here. We have number 5 goes to the Pineview Panthers, number 6 the Cedar Reds, and number 7 the Hurricane Tigers. And again, I think this is maybe based off of history from last year. The Tigers feel like they're ready to get back into the fight. And Coach was right. They were short last year in all of their region games, but sometimes it was just one run, and sometimes it was just felt like it was right there. They did get one over Pineview in the playoffs, but too little, too late at that point. And but it's a good team that they have there, and it's built with a lot of underclassmen though.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, drum roll. Your preseason MVP, voted by the coaches and combined with the media votes, is?
It's going to go to Dixie's Carson Hunt. And this was a close vote, but Carson Hunt's going to take it. We saw him on the panel for Dixie, so he's one of the most phenomenal players. He was MVP last year, and the fact that he was MVP as an underclassman kind of leads to him being the preseason MVP as well. It does make sense. So I don't think I'm opposed to that vote at all.
He hit for average. He hit for power. He pitched. He talked about offseason getting stronger. He was only a sophomore. He's only a junior. He's still not even a senior. Like, the future is bright. You look at some of the baseball rankings, player rankings across the state. He's on about every big list. But still, that said, we have some very talented players. How close was it, and who else is on that first team?
Yeah, so we had someone who was just about there as well. Harmon Skeen for Desert Hills almost making the cut as well. Kind of a tight race between him and Carson Hunt, but Harmon Skeen's going to be the first guy on that list for sure for first team. I'm going to run through the rest of first team, and we'll be bringing out the rest of the honorable mentions, and you can check that out at thefansportsnetwork.com. And I know the St. George News is going to have an article as well, so we'll give you the full list there. But for the rest of the first team, you have Cutter Christensen, Trayvon, Parker Selby, Weston Gilmore, Cassius Cisneros, Porter Campbell, Diesel Lee, Cade Kelch, and Jackson Tolman. So pretty solid list. Those are some good ball players.
Yeah, no question. No question. Kaden Foremaster, everybody. Let's get out to the yard, and we will have a bunch of games coming your way on the live stream and on the radio in the weeks to come. Gonna try to get a few games in before region play starts, and then once region play starts, we're gonna have at least 2 games every single week on the Fan Sports Network. Been a lot of fun. Until next time, thanks to everybody behind the scenes, all the coaches for their time, all the players that attended. Great job to everybody, and thanks for watching or listening to our 2026 Region 9 Baseball Media Day. Devin, Dixon saying we'll see you next time.